And thanks everybody who tuned in and subscribed to the channel. This is our 2,000 subscriber special edition weekly Wednesday live stream. And this one will be on YouTube only. We'll be back with you in just a minute while we allow people to join the live chat. All right, everybody, and yeah, cheers. We put up a poll earlier in the day saying you've got three choices. You could either leave us comments during the live stream, or you could leave us comments during the live stream. So thanks for reminding me, Evan. Ah, yes. So yes, thanks to all of our subscribers who have allowed us to get all the way to 2,000, incredibly. And I would remind our viewers that our station came from a very strange place. So I've been quite spaced out since I was quite young. But in any case, the channel was all just basically derived from viewing other content. So we sort of transformed from a YouTube content consumer to a YouTube content creator. And basically now we spend almost zero time consuming YouTube content. Although occasionally we will watch a, 2-hour long YouTube movie. So anyway, what we used to do is actually things like fake news weather reports where we would embellish on real weather systems. And we got to 200 subscribers, and we were kind of surprised that even became a thing, that we made it to 200 subscribers. So in any case, that's the way it went down. And we've added those to our playlist, by the way. We've got an entire playlist now devoted to alarmist fake news stuff, fake news weather reports. So let me just give you a quick little tidbit on where that's located and so on. If you head to our playlists on the YouTube channel, you'll find the newest playlist there is entitled Alarmist / Fearmongering / Fake News Weather Reports / Forecasts. So there are now 77 videos in there. Most of them are old videos, so I'll just play a little because there actually is some weather coming into Pennsylvania, and we'll do a little bit of fake news alarmism in a moment as an homage to our own channel. Real meteorology segments available at youtube.com/smAshomash/playlists. And we are very scared and spooked right now. Let's get into it. So anyway, this is the one from yesterday. And so you'll see much older ones here that are from like 2018. Here's one entitled Fake News Illuminati Weather Report, possibly hosted by the seanced ghost of Prescott Bush. Who knows? All right, time to break out the fake news alarmist style weather report. Let's skip to the middle. I'm going to draw purple arrows.
Too hard because they'll eventually figure out that you're looking.
Right. So let's do a zoom into that. All right. There you go. There's what's going on. Anyway, the videos of that time were a little bit less produced than they are now, let's just say. And it just all has to do with what software we're using. Those videos were just produced on a smartphone with screen grabbing technology. And So anyway, so we got to nearly 200 subscribers, just basically by doing that. I think we got to like 170. Correct me if I'm wrong. And of course, we will put your viewer chats on the screen. So if you wanna leave us a little tale of how you ended up watching the channel. And I know many of our viewers were recommended by other channels and so on. Cheers to all of those channels. As we definitely don't hold grudges. We definitely we sort of what's the right terminology? We forgive, remember, and we hold accountable. So yeah. So well, and on that note, welcome to 2021, year of accountability. We hope certain parties will continue to be accountable, without mentioning any names. And just let me stretch my legs here a minute. I gotta sit back down. There should be links below the video if you're wondering if there's any sort of merch for you to perch, Ace. We do have the Mansa hats. Check it out. The quality is delightful. Yes, the website is pretty small. It's actually readable, believe it or not. Very high quality print there. Make Earth not suck again. It's up to you, not giant bureaucracies that can't even get out of their own way. All right. So, what else do we have to cover? Well, lots of things. And we're going to be streaming for a lengthy period. So that SDO imagery we showed you earlier, that was a 1 week SDO series. And we're going to bring up a different SDO series since we spend a lot of time talking about astronomy, cosmology, heliophysics, some geophysics, and so yeah, we knew it would be a serious undertaking messing around with things like solar forecasting and doing deep dives on solar data. It was sort of a thing that I knew we would eventually have to do. And again, I started, for example, I started studying cosmic rays in about 1980 when I was about 4 years old. I remember reading actually this very atlas. Here, I can actually show you the atlas that I used. Yeah, I read about cosmic ray flux in about 1980. Now, this was published in like 1965. And it's the World Book, I believe. Oh, the Reader's Digest. It's the Reader's Digest Great World Atlas. Here, I'll put it on the screen. Maybe I'll make scans of this at a later time. Oh, let me get SNN. Oh, there you go. There you go. It needs to be rebound, but I believe it's completely intact. The Reader's Digest Great World Atlas. I know there's photos of that on the Instagram. Pardon the guerrilla style filming. It's not set up to do that. I just plugged it in so I could use it for this stream. And so there's this great, well, I might as well bring it back up. There's this great image right here of Earth's environs. Yes, Earth's environs. And one of the things on there, you can see it's showing Earth's magnetosphere, the Van Allen belts, and so on. And anyway, one of the things on there is a cosmic ray, and that caused me to want to know what that was when I was like 4 years old. So it's not like I'm just sort of some kind of astronomy noob. That's my point. And as far as climate stuff, occasionally I do make some comments about climate that may be considered controversial. I just don't consider them controversial, having known something about geology. When it comes to stuff like climate, I started studying that formally in 1987, an earth science class, 8th grade. So anyway, that's why I occasionally make commentary on that stuff, as I'm somebody that you could say understands the physics a bit. And I don't know, take that however you want. So here's the last week of the sun in ionized helium. And of course we spend lots of time looking at this. It's why we have the word spectroscopy in our mission statement. So smAsho.com/forum/mission is a place you can find that if you like. And, check out the forum. There's a great cosmology forum there. Allow me to give you a look. So if you head to smAshomash.org, it'll redirect you to smAshomash.com. Eventually, we do plan to have a separate .org website. And while that loads, let me bring up your chats once again and let those scroll. Thanks again, everybody, for commenting. Cheers to Mike Decker. And, of course, it's a celebratory day, so we'll have to make Mike a moderator. Congratulations to our latest moderator. The first comment on our 2,000 subscriber special. And let me just make sure we're seeing all the comments here. There we go. There's the live stream. And yes, thanks again, everybody, for chiming in there. So if you head to smAshomash.com, click on forum. We just redid it with some late summer hot colors. And you can see some of the stuff is quite new if you get down toward the bottom. We haven't been doing a lot of updating lately. We've been way too busy, way too overworked, and way too underpaid. So let's just, it's loading a bit slowly today, and we did have intermittent internet outages earlier in the day, so we're hoping not to see that. By the way, I also made my voice acting debut today. We'll have to talk about that at a later time, as it really doesn't have anything to do with this video, but shout out to Rag Reynolds in any case. Those of you not aware, there was a recent collabo, and we'll share a post and make a video about that. We've been trying to get Ryan Rag Reynolds on the channel for a while. And just waiting for forum to load here. Yowzers. Let's go to a test pattern. And by the way, our lovely test pattern is brand new. It's only about 2 weeks old, I think. If any viewers can verify that. Our lovely test pattern is the constellation of Cygnus. So if you look at this area right up there, it's this area right here, right there. That's Deneb right there. So that's the swan. Actually, the swan is, I can draw it on the screen. Maybe I can draw it on the screen. So you've got Deneb, I think. And then, all right, never mind. That's not going to be in the right spot. but it's that bright star, that's Alpha Cygni. And that's the tail of the swan. So anyway, here's our forum, smAshomash.com/forum. Recently changed it up here, and the Cosmology forum has an entire thread just about that star, as it's one of the more interesting stars, and it's actually why we had Plasmasphere up. So the reason we had Plasmasphere up is because Deneb actually figures into the cosmologic picture of where things are, where things are going, and perhaps even where things came from. If you want to read more about that, check it out at our forum. To summarize, the sun lives in an environment, this hourglass-shaped structure, known as the local chimney. And this is a plasma structure where we can see using radiography that there's a sort of an area of denser material. It's like oriented like a tube, kind of. So if you look at it this way, it's kind of oriented like a tube and basically hourglass shaped. And I actually have this oriented as I do here for a reason, because this right here, this is Deneb right here. So that's Deneb, and if you want to know how things are moving in the galaxy, you can see the galactic center is right about here. That's Sagittarius A star. And basically, the way the motion is going is that the sun is moving toward this solar apex tab, over toward the edge of this local chimney area. And the entire chimney is moving toward Deneb. So if that makes sense, the chimney, it's nearly perpendicular to the galactic plane, as you can see. And if we just sort of zoom in like this, this is sort of the motion that it's going. That's sort of the way things orbit in the galaxy, so to speak. So the sun, with respect to the stars in the local chimney, is moving toward the solar apex. The whole local chimney is moving toward Deneb and away from the constellation Taurus. So basically, and of course we've got the constellation Taurus is actually up in the northern hemisphere right now, so visualizing what we've got in the sky, there's actually a nice pile up going on too. We've got the sun and Mercury and Mars and Venus and the moon are all up there at once. And the sun's motion is sort of toward, you know, the whole local chimney is traveling essentially away from Taurus and toward Cygnus. So Cygnus is just about to rise. The sun is kind of just like moving in this sort of a path and that sort of a direction. And we've actually drawn in the galactic plane here. Cygnus is sort of right on the line with the galactic plane. It's a spot where there's a void. And no more need to harp on that. So yeah, we recently did a collab. We'll have to talk about that in a different video. We also recently did a BitChute exclusive. So perhaps check out our BitChute channel if you haven't. And I'm going to orient this Plasmascape. Alright, so here's Plasmascape. Once again, this is number 2. So number 5, if you click on number 5 on Plasmascape, that's the local chimney. If you zoom out, you can then rotate this around. There's the structure. It looks like a nuclear cooling tower. And of course it probably continues, but we can only measure this so closely. And the solar apex is the route the sun is taking. If you zoom this in farther, it'll actually show the constellations also. So you can turn the galactic plane like this if you want to visualize the sun's motion on a galactic scale. I'm getting confused. I apologize if I've made anybody dizzy. I've made myself dizzy. And there's Deneb. And you can still zoom in and out from this perspective. There's the inner planets view and the sun. I don't think that's to scale. So we're just going to let that play. I'm going to put your chats on the screen. And I'm going to play another track, and I'll be right back for more of our 2,000 subscriber special. It's Stacker Do. All right, and we're back. After a brief interlude, I've grabbed myself a club soda. And let us know what you're drinking this lovely afternoon. Let us know how spaced out you are. Just staring at the sun. Just staring at the sun, hurtling toward Deneb. It's good times. And one of the things we're going to do in today's live stream is we're going to show you, the viewer, our space weather console. So we're just going to open up all of our tabs here and sort of show you what typically goes on the daily space weather videos and show prep. So one of the things that we typically do is we go to helioviewer.org. So if you haven't noticed the stamps on, our extreme close-up solar videos, of course, here's the one from this morning. And you can see down there, allow me to get out of the way. You can see helioviewer.org down there. That's the website we're talking about. I believe we're on an alternative site. You can find it yourself by using your favorite internet search engine. Just send some data through those tubes that are the internet. The internet is tubes, and you can find out all about it. So that's one of the first things that we do. And sometimes we take different numbers of images than other times. And just a quick little view of the console here. Right now we've got 193. Let's bring up 171. So there's 171 angstroms. And there's 304. And if you fade the slider like this, you can make these composite images that we've been featuring recently on the DSW videos. You can also throw magnetogram in there if you like. And if you see these numbers turning yellow and orange and red, that means that they're old data. So if they're all this bright green color, that means that you can get the data from all of those different wavelengths. And what I usually do is I press refresh to get the latest. And then, for example, if I wanted to do a whole day, I just copy that time, in this case full viewpoint. I paste the times in there, 30 frames per second. And you've got frames synchronized to the video. We actually shoot our videos in 30 FPS also. And we try not to mess with those too much. Okay. They're unable to create a movie for this period in time. Oh, yes, because I'm trying to look at data that's in the future here. Duh. So we'll go put in the correct dates. And now it'll queue up a movie now. And just give it a few minutes. And I've got my cosmic ray monitors here in the tab to the left of this, just for convenience and as a reminder to look at it occasionally. As we, of course, look at a lot of data. Look, there's the current data. And we've had a recent little small uptick here. Still pretty flat on the past 30 days. Adipati. There's Barentsburg, a downtrend at Barentsburg. So that's the only other tab to the left. And now going to the right, here's my diagram of Lagrange points, so people understand what they're looking at when we show them stereo A. And if you want to look at stereo A's coronagraph, it's on page 7, the first frame. And if you want maximum resolution, bring up 100 frames and 20 frames per second. Get a lot of data there. And of course, you got to use all kinds of different settings for that to really get what you're looking for. Let's do 100 frames back at 3 frames per second. And take a look at the Lascaux C3, as there was a comet on there. So I think this should capture the comet if I remember correctly. It's not really... So there is a coronal right here. So there is a coronal mass ejection, and there's a comet. I just sort of noticed this without really looking too hard for it, honestly. I'll make this full screen. It's going to be a little bit distorted, but you'll get full res. There you go. Little unexpected comet. And I'll leave that on the screen for a minute here while I put your chats up. And cheers. Seriously, thanks everybody once again for getting us to 2,000 subscribers. Tell your friends and foes about the channel. Tell your friends, foes, science noobs, and science pros about the channel. Nay wants a Deneb hat. Yeah, we'll make some additional designs coming up soon. By the way, that brings me to another important point. Come September, everything's going to change. So while we do encourage you to become a patron, starting in the month of September, we're going to have subscription services at smAsho.com. So the Smash team has already become a reality. We just haven't rolled it out yet. And Smash staff and I have been working rather feverishly for the past couple of weeks and ultimately the past couple of months to get subscription services, because it turns out folks prefer to pay us directly than to pay through Patreon. And who wouldn't? Of course, Patreon takes a cut. And, you know, it's, if you're able to like run your own web services, you probably should. As many of you have noticed some problems with sort of big tech. Is that the right term? Is that the right term for it? Is it called... Do the young kids call it big tech these days? You know, those companies that own the tubes. The companies that own the tubes. Are those companies able to purchase a cannon? Or will the U.S. nuke them and scramble F-15s? All right, what was I talking about? I just can't remember. I feel like I've suffered from dementia. Yeah, so we've got web services coming, folks. That's going to be a new thing. We'll probably keep our $3 per month Patreon tier. And what's interesting about that is you'll actually save 1 cent by being a subscriber at smAsho.com. Our our silver tier. So we're just going to have, there's going to be 2 levels. You're going to be either at the silver level or the gold level, and that's it. And there'll be a paid up membership, and the paid up membership will include a free month priced in, as well as a free piece of merch, which amounts to like 4 free months of the $9.99 per month level. So that, I believe that pretty much covers it. And Smash staff, correct me if I'm wrong or if I said anything incorrectly. I think that pretty much covers it. So yeah, look for that coming. And of course, a lot of viewers, there's a lot of different reasons to just simply have your own web services instead of, you know, using somebody else if you can handle the additional responsibility. Also, we're branching out into the realm of website design and hosting. If anybody needs a website built, you know, your local mom and pop shop, for example, if they need a website built, you know, we can do it pretty fast, easily, and seamlessly. We're not charging exorbitant fees yet. We can do branding, as I've been doing graphic design as a result of record production since the late 90s. So that's sort of what's going on at SNN, Smash News Network, least busted name and news. Also, just to let you patrons know, we have not been misappropriating your funds. This is a 4K camera. Some of you have seen the videos of the riding the bicycle. In fact, let's actually bring one of those up. Some videos of riding the bicycle, and there's a playlist for that too, folks. So allow me to show you where that is. I keep at least one YouTube channel open in my space weather tabs in case I have to access something. So if you click on playlists, you'll find a playlist called Driving, Riding, and Pro Tips. If you click on that, there's actually an interview with Colleen Gulick, local cyclist, but there are a lot of videos in there, and some of these are bicycle riding. So for example, one of the great classic roads in the Lehigh Valley is known as Sauerkraut Lane. Here's a tidbit. It's a tidbit. Me out on the time trial bike on Sauerkraut Lane. Just a delight. And really the point of it is to encourage people to stop looking at their screens. And welcome everybody to the latest. So also you can find this interview with Colleen. We've been trying to get her back. It's just been hectic with everybody's schedule, and she does hundreds of bike races per... Yes, she does like hundreds of bike races per year. And if you're a cyclist who's facing off against, who's squaring off against Colleen, I wish you luck. You'll probably need it. So again, we've got all kinds of videos here besides science and technology stuff, and look for more lifestyle stuff coming. There are even some recipe videos and so on the channel, as we have made sure not to limit ourselves. Later in the video, we will raise a toast. And cheers to everybody who's been hurtling down the road of space weather with us through all of these years. So I think we're like 3 years. By my math, we're about 3 years and 3 months in to doing a space weather video every day. And, you know, science is a rabbit hole. Science is a rabbit hole, and if you're willing to descend that rabbit hole, you may find that you're not getting the answers to the questions that you're asking. In all likelihood, even if you do end up with the answers to the questions you're asking, you're also extremely likely to end up with additional questions. So that's what we saw happen. And part of the reason why we started making daily space weather videos is because we noticed that there was a lack of the content that we were about to be making. So I felt like there was a need for, oh, check it out. It's a tour of the sponsor shop. theveloshop.net. So anyway, what the heck was I talking about? I have no idea. Oh, part of the reason we started making the videos is because we noticed a lack of the material that we're making. I noticed that there was a problem tying certain variables together and tying together non-existent variables. So I noticed a little bit, I noticed some rifts and some cherry picking and some nonsense and some BS and some crap, phony pseudoscience in the content that I was finding on YouTube. And so I didn't realize just that there was a niche. I realized that there was a necessity to create the content because it just didn't exist yet. And of course, I knew that it was going to be a complete... I knew that it was going to be extremely difficult to try to cover the sun. We did not expect to see predictive value in things like relationships between coronal holes and sunspots, or be able to explain the mechanisms behind the solar cycles. But that's what happens, man. You start doing the science and you go, uh-oh, if this means this, then that must mean that, and it certainly doesn't mean that. And that's sort of the way you have to just stumble around and hope for the best. So that's sort of what went on with the channel. And again, it was completely unexpected to be in the process of writing a paper explaining the solar polar field reversal cycles. It wasn't expected. It's just bizarre. And oh, and on that, before I forget, one more time, a retraction. I've said it repeatedly that Earth had two geomagnetic north poles. That's completely inaccurate. The problem was a problem with the terminology. There's a geomagnetic pole, which is in space. The geomagnetic pole is the magnetic moment that incoming solar particles experience when they first interact with the magnetosphere. The magnetic pole is the location of the magnetic pole on planet Earth, where the magnetic field force lines are vertical. So that's, that's the point your compass needle will point to. And one of the things that's deceptive about it is if you're on this side of the planet, your compass needle will point over the geographic North Pole to the Siberian North Pole through weak field lines in certain parts of the planet. And, that can be confusing, and that's part of the reason why we did a video all about this entitled Geomagnetic Mayhem. And so I just wanted to state once again, maybe we'll make a video about how I was incorrect. So there's certain things that we're trying to do in the channel. If you want to read about our mission, head to smashamash.com/forum/mission. And you can read all about it. One of the things on the mission is to look at factors regarding space weather, Earth weather, etc. Space weather and related phenomenon, right? How is it related to Earth effects? So that's something that it's part of the mission. Part of the mission is to look at the things that seem to have predictive value. So that's what we're talking about. And if another YouTube channel tells you that they want to see a movement and then they attempt to gaslight you, then they're a movement of the bowel type. So, that's just the way it goes, man. If all of a sudden you notice a pattern of fraud, please act on it, because I'm not going to put up with it. I'm so done with nonsense. So, yeah, 2021, year of accountability. I'm actually becoming too accountable. What about you? The real question is, are certain culpable parties accountable for certain types of things? I guess that's vague enough that I probably won't get like demonetized or banned from YouTube. So, yeah, we're going to talk about some news stories. I'm not exactly sure which website we'll go to. Let's go to one that we never go to. I don't think we've ever gone live to this one. So I'll just share the screen. It's fine. How about BuzzFeed.com? And you can see that I've been there before, not because I'm a regular reader of BuzzFeed. I probably went there to gain hilarious material. By the way, if you're wondering, Jennifer Aniston posted a shirtless photo of Justin Theroux for his birthday. And no, I have zero chill about it. Well, thank God that BuzzFeed is covering this, because I was really worried about whether or not Jennifer Aniston had provided a shirtless photo of Justin Theroux, a person who I have no idea who it is. Apparently, they may have ended their marriage, but that doesn't mean they root for each other to create softcore blankography. On Tuesday, Justin celebrated his 50th birthday. He didn't release whether or not he was vaccinated or whether it's any of your business, but Jennifer shouted out to him on her Instagram story, probably because she's been alienated from 1/3 of the people that she knows. Jennifer posted a picture of Justin with the caption of "Happy birthday, JT," and no, it's not Justin Timberlake. It's this guy called Theroux, and no, it's not Emerson. It's not Theroux. It's not Henry David Thoreau's great grandson. It's spelled differently. So pretty soon we're going to see him without a shirt, and I'm glad that I'm sitting and that you can't see my crotch, because if I pitched a tent as a result of seeing this guy without a shirt, I wouldn't want you, the viewer, to know. And I'm just going to leave that on the screen for the ladies. Oh, look at the perfect lighting on the abs. Oh my God. This guy can probably go uphill for more than 3 minutes in a row. Let me put your chats on the screen. And yes, thanks again to all of our viewers. Yeah, the 2,000 subscribers snuck up on everybody because we hovered around 1,300 and then around 1,800 for years. Yes. Ludwig Holwein. That is such a good name, by the way. Ludwig Holwein. And backwood weird. That guy gets, you're getting a wrench, and you're getting a wrench, and you're getting a wrench. Backwood word, backass words, weird world. That's pretty hard to say. Backass words, weird world. Weird world, period, is hard to say. Oh, Lord. Sorry, backass. What? You're kidding, right? Clay, never use your admin powers. You've been warned. Keep in mind, folks, it's very easy to accidentally press stuff, so I apologize for Evan. Not forever, just for Evan. Yeah, I gave you a wrench, so cheers. All right, no more screwing around with admin powers, people. And the Kelly Gates, you think it's funny? I'm going to give you a wrench, too. Now you've got liability. You've been put to work. All right, so let's get this full. Oh, look at this hunk. Oh my God. Oh, geez. This is what a live stream is all about, folks. This is Jennifer Aniston's guy. Look at that, between that Nike visor and that gold ring and those abs. Oh my God. Such abs. Anyway, thanks again, BuzzFeed, for having such a great story. Because there's nothing like an exciting story about a hunk. Did anybody see Jennifer Aniston's recent I guess you'd call it like oh, for God's sake. Jennifer Aniston's recent post about how she's disowning friends that didn't get vaccinated or something like that. It's berserk. It's berserk. She got a vaccination -2 cursed berserking. Hey, check it out. I've got a UV wand. Did you know that UV kills COVID? Yeah, it still kills COVID. Yeah, every variant. Every variant. Watch. See that? Owned. All right, I got to do another terms defined video pretty soon called owned, where we define, it's actually just pronounced owned, but you know, if you spell it PWNT, if you spell it PWNT, it's still pronounced owned. So don't say pone or pont. It's still owned. And if you say pwned, it's not right. It's owned. It all goes back to a misprint by an admin or something like that, like a typo in a WoW game or something. I have no idea. And we've got noises.
Oh, hey there. Fancy meeting you here.
We've got noises.
From the perspective of the passenger seat this time. We've got a new kind of camera mount. So anyway, today's video
all right.
is going to feature.
I have no idea why there's.
One thing.
I absolutely did not press play. All right. So I'm going to play you another ditty here, and I'll be back in about 3 minutes. Stand by for additional live stream. All right, and we're back. If you've got any exciting news stories you'd like to talk about, no, we're not going to talk about Cuomo. We're not going to talk about Fauci. We're not going to talk about Tom Wolfe. We're not going to talk about Rachel Levine. None of that kind of stuff. I'll take a hard pass on that. We will take your chats, though. So, yeah, and that brings us to our alarmist fake news weather report section. We're bringing it back because we're dredging up old segments. Because we don't just make videos for serious, we make videos for fun. And that brings me to another point, a retraction. I was saying some idiotic things about meteorology as well as about geomagnetic poles. So let me just quickly cover this. I've been warning of flood warnings in the Pacific Northwest, and there ain't no floods coming. I know you're all wishing floods were coming. You've got very hot temperatures coming. So as we speak, it's like 16 degrees Celsius above normal in Western Oregon, half of Washington, and parts of Northern California. So 16 degrees Celsius above normal there. I apologize for misread. And what happened was I misreaded. I mislearned how to speak the English language. I misread the weather.gov map. So this is what the heck? So this is what I idiotically did. I looked at this. See that? That magenta, that like dark, that wine-colored area. And I said, oh crap, flash flood. It's excessive heat warning. So I apologize for that. See, this is what you do when you screw up, folks. You don't try to gaslight people and try to get them to believe stuff that isn't true. That's a screw up. So by the way, here's my meteorology console. And this is a fantastic, let me just show you this website real quick. This is the NASA Goes Interactive Weather Satellites. I'll just zoom out so you can see all the different instruments here, different bands. And of course you've got different views here also. So you've got this water vapor, and then you've got this western view as well. And this is because, of course, the jet stream is very disrupted in that area. Let's actually take a look at the visible. Some great views there of the West Coast. And we rarely cover it, largely because of the timing of the videos. As we get into making more and more content, we become more and more likely to make videos about specific locations. If you've got like a custom weather report that you'd like us to do, let us know, and we'll do it. In theory, we might do it. I'll just say we might do it. That's better. Anyway, that's the visible. Let's actually look at the water vapor. You'll be able to see sort of the influence of the jet stream. And we've got Borg spacecraft jamming the GOES satellite. Maybe some cosmic ray flux there or something on that geosynchronous satellite. It's outside the Van Allen belts, so there's your interference. I don't think it's because of Nibiru. And we've actually seen this on a number of water vapor satellites here. This is the sort of thing you would see from cosmic ray flux. And let's bring up the global view and bring up the chat again. Before we go back to, I don't know, we'll go to, what's the most ridiculous news source? I think there are some pretty ridiculous ones. There we go. How do you like that? That's not bad. It's a quality global map there. Looking at the western portion of, the extreme western portion of the planet. And we've got some folks tuning in from Fremunda. Shout out to Kimberly, one of our longtime patrons. Make sure you pick up some of Kimberly's art on her Redbubble shop. We actually almost just purchased some the other day. We were so close, yet so far from Eastern Australia, where Kimberly is located. Geez, the guy says congrats on UK and then you censor him? That's great. All right, I'm pressing buttons inadvertently here. All right. Yeah, so 2,000 subscribers. Cheers. It's certainly not easy. So, you know, I think it's important to note the fact that I think it's a lot easier to get to 1,000 than to 2,000, because there are a million channels out there that think as soon as they monetize, they'll be set. You're gonna be rich. You're gonna retire a billionaire. You're gonna buy out Elon Musk. You're gonna own the Tesla factory, and you're going to be going to space on self-funded space missions. I think that's what happens. And so you have countless people who are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and they get to 1,000 subscribers and they're like, we're balling now. We're balling. But it's time to retire. I mean, we're just, all we need is 7 more million views per day, and we will totally be able to retire. Now, currently, our channel, at the rate that we're currently gaining subscribers and views, we do expect, based on Google AdSense revenue, to be able to retire in the year 2 billion. So that's going to be cool. I guess there's a lot of work ahead of us, since we'll be working until the year 2 billion. But it'll be nice to retire. Maybe we'll go to Pago Pago. And leave us a comment if you want to go to Pago Pago for New Year's Eve 2022 to 2023. Yes, Pago Pago. Have you considered it? Why is it that we want to go to Pago Pago? Well, let's head to a map. Now, at smAsho.com, there aren't any maps. What you can find are links to our merch shops and so on. You won't find any maps, though. One of the things you might find is the my blanksination is none of your business. You might find that at the smAsho merch shop. What you won't find is maps. So let's just head to maps.blankle.com, and we're just going to type in Pago Pago. If you don't know where it is, it's American Samoa. It's a very, very far western point on planet Earth. It's quite close to the international dateline. So let's get a better layer here. I almost never use this except on mobile. So I apologize if I'm completely confused about how to change the layers. I want a different layer. Layers have moved. It doesn't tell me where they've moved, but they've moved. So thanks Google once again for writing software that barely functions, or in this case doesn't function. So if we zoom out from American Samoa, here's layers. Oh, thank you. So helpful. Can we get satellite imagery? Explore. Great. Boy, thanks so much. Google, I look at, you see how convenient this is? Oh, I can view COVID info though. That's crucial. I'll just type it in again. All right. Great. Now, by the way, I do use Google Maps regularly when I drive because it tracks traffic. But if you zoom out, I assume it's going to eventually show us the international dateline. And you can see there, the international dateline is awfully close to American Samoa. Is it actually? I believe it's on the other side. Ugh. Oh, look, I found layers. Isn't that great? There's the satellite imagery. And when I zoom back in, I guess I'll just have to search again. I love that. Oh, well done, Google. That's okay. You take your time learning to code. We've got all century. If you should happen to move to Mars, I hear it's beautiful this time of decade. Please take Tom Wolfe and Elon Musk with you. Anyway, here are your chats back on the screen. And again, if you'd like to go to Pago Pago, we're going to rent an entire hotel floor. And we're going to celebrate the 2022 to 2023 New Year in style. Very, very far to the west. And the reasoning is because this place is so far to the west that it's one of the last places in the world to celebrate the new year. Check it out. It's surrounded by seamounts. What a crazy place. In Oceania, north of the Tongan Trench, which is north of the Kermadec Trench. See, there's the Kermadec Trench. Why it doesn't list it, I have no idea. It's one trench. It's got two names. This is the Tongan Trench. This is the Kermadec Trench, and Google doesn't know this. What does Google know? Please leave us a comment if you can figure out what Google knows. Why is it that Google is trying to prop up what it believes to be the dominant political party wherever it's located? What an effective solution to absolutely nothing. All right, so for the final section of the video, I think we'll get larger and larger and larger. And then we'll raise a toast. Not this kind of toast, a better toast. Although this is pretty good toast, don't become toast. Brown bread is not coming back. You are. Congratulations. All right. So let's do one more musical interlude here. I'm going to pick another original track. We've got a nearly endless supply, if you were wondering. A nearly endless supply. And let's play Tilt-A-Whirl here. And some of the tracks we use in the videos will actually show up in the description. There is a SoundCloud and a SoundClick account there. So here's Tilt-A-Whirl. We'll be right back to raise a toast to you, the viewer. Subscribers, friends, foes, likes, dislikes, commenters, those trying to get our channel deleted from the internet. Cheers. Congratulations. See you in a minute. Thanks again to our viewers, subscribers, friends, foes, other channels. You want to do a collabo, drop me a line. Links in the description. This live stream's not over yet. We might have to go laugh at some other news sources. We'll just see what's going on. And I'm doing a manual fade out. I'm very tense right now. All right, let's chill out. Let's chill out and go back to Pago Pago, right? Pago Pago. Pago Pago. It's the capital of American Samoa, by the way. I don't think you even need a passport to go there. You just fly to California. If you're me, you fly to California and then to Hawaii and then to American Samoa. There it is. Look at it. Look at that island. It's insane. Look at that place. It's berserk. So have to go have a New Year there. I mean, look at, is that a tsunami-proof inlet? Just saying, folks. Look at the structure of this place. It's berserk. You know how many expats must live there? I mean, National Park of American Samoa. Imagine the mountain bike trails. Imagine the rental places. Jeez. That looks insane. Ah, it's a river delta, yes. The Gagamo Stream. Seriously, these places are absolutely crazy. This is going to so be a thing. All right, and let's head to. It's my favorite news source. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. It's my favorite news source. I don't think saying it's my favorite news source is going to get me banned from YouTube. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. It's zerohedge.com. So that's all I'm going to say. That's just an endorsement. And I'm going to riff on articles if I need to. And our patrons are well aware of this. And once again, let me thank our patrons. And we're going to raise a toast to all of our viewers in a minute here. If we find any interesting graphics to get back on the screen, we're not going to talk about anything controversial because it's our 2,000 subscriber special, and we wouldn't want anybody's censorship or copyright claims or anything like that to interfere with the video. Now, would we? By the way, have you been tested for COVID? How many cases are in your neighborhood? Are you very worried? Are you spaced out like we are here at the Smash News Network? Are you in the process of growing, or are you growing a tumor? Are you becoming a tumor on the butt of society? We hope not. And we hope that in the event of a disaster, you become a liability. I mean, an asset. I think I said that wrong. In the event of a disaster, we hope that you are an asset, not a liability. There we go. Now we've got it right. And on that note, let's raise a toast to our viewers, who we hope are assets and not liabilities, and not our liabilities. Anyway, these videos are produced at massive expense and personal liability from smAsho.com, so visit our website and support the channel. I'm going to now open, I don't know if you could hear that or not, a Trogs. So this one is for all y'all viewers. Raising a Trogs to the 2,000 subs. Cheers, everybody. I don't know, was it accidental? Was it divine providence? Or was it just a function of doing science? I don't know. I'm not going to really conjecture at the moment about the nature of reality and science itself, since it's the attempt to explain reality itself. Again, look for more videos coming soon from our 4K camera, because it's quite good. And yeah, so cheers to our viewers. Tell your friends, foes, science noobs, and science pros about the channel. We also do videos that have nothing to do with science, so check those out on the playlists. Holla. All right, that's pretty healthy. The Trogs Perpetual IPA. And let's just allow me to shrink myself back down to size here. I want to do the space weather and take up as little space as I can. All right, I think that's an appropriate size. And if you think that I look kind of strangely, it's because we sort of rekeyed the color today before the video, because I knew I'd be having all these crazy colors on. I want to make sure that it was like green screen correctly and so on. So again, I'm just looking at articles here, and leave comments if you've got some news story you'd like us to cover. If recently a comet has crashed into your local convenience store or something like that, let us know in the comments, and we will cover it, God willing. As here at the Smash News Network, we're willing to do anything that is not fraud. No, I mean, okay, maybe not anything, but we're willing to do what it takes to get the content to where it's supposed to be in order to not be nonsense. So we're not talking about the Some Nonsense Network. No, we're not talking about the Scary News Network. We're talking about the Smash News Network. And oh, I remember what I forgot. I forgot to talk about how the world's on fire. And it really is. I mean, I'm not kidding. It, like, for real. Here at the Smash News Network, we like stuff that's for real. So here is the fire map on nullschool.net. If you've never seen it before, it's pretty flamin'. And we've got fires, but for some reason, here's the carbon monoxide surface concentration. That's a good one. And check it out. There's quite a large fire. Or two, or a lot. And of course, we're not covering this. This isn't like we're trying to like cherry pick the data and be like, look, everything's fine. You know, this fire here has been sending smoke all the way to Pennsylvania for an extended period. Or it might be this one actually, but in any case, check out the carbon monoxide over Lake Michigan. Could that be? I don't know. Anyway. So I wanted to bring up the weather maps here because guess what? There's some weather about to strike Pennsylvania. It's just moved in. So we don't see any heavy winds here, but I did see some lightning. Let's see what Thor's hammer is smashing at the moment. Hopefully nobody's getting mashed or smashed by this lightning. So this is a real-time lightning map. We look at it on the regs on the channel, lightningmaps.org. I couldn't believe it existed when I found it. It's splentacular. And cheers to blitzortung.org. Well done. Fantastic site. Look at the lightning over the eastern U.S. It looks like it's headed our way. It's about time to get out my grounding rod and go chain myself to a no. Okay, I'm not going to chain myself to anything. I think we're all right. This might entirely miss us to the south. And for you new viewers out there, if you're wondering where we're located, we're about here. We're someplace in this area. We're someplace in this area right here. We're in between here and here. And in between here and here. All right, so seriously though, we actually do see some stuff moving on. And it's moving hard on Pennsylvania. I think this actually, we saw some severe thunderstorms in the past couple of days. And here comes some more weather into Pennsylvania. And we're going to bring up your chats one more time before we play another ditty and then close out the live stream. We'll just let this scroll. Let the good chats scroll as we show you the local Doppler radar on weather.gov. Yeah, Son of Clay's wearing his Deneb shirt right now. Yeah, and you may have noticed that we've taken down the astronomy stuff from the Teespring site. So if you want to buy our merch, you can find the links to both sites still at smAshomash.com. Changes coming up in all that stuff soon. There's going to be a shake-up and a shake-down, but not of us. We're going to be shaking stuff up while entire countries get shaken down. And here's a quote that I will definitely read aloud. Son of Clay says, "Sometimes I feel that Google is deliberately clunky and inefficient, so when they finally roll out their Neuralink, we'll buy it gladly, just to get rid of those darn phones." You know, that brings me to an important point. Companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, and Amazon, they measure the success of their software through engagement. Are you familiar with the term engagement? You know what that means? Engagement? It literally means the amount of time you spend staring at your device. So now my device, of course, has my business card right inside the case. How about them apples? But guess what? My device doesn't get stared at constantly. Why? Because I understand what the problem is. The problem is that the success of your smartphone is measured in engagement. What does that mean? What that means is that the more of your time it wastes, the better it is. That's right. As I speak into the space mic, see, look at this mic. It's made of space. And the comforting thing about speaking into the void is knowing that no one's listening. Seriously, though, if your experience is measured in engagement, these companies consider the devices and software to perform better the more time you spend looking at them. In other words, if they make the software less efficient, it makes your engagement higher, not lower, because you have to spend more time simply typing or scrolling or attempting to just display an image on your screen. Have you noticed like a little bit of lack of intuitive software going on lately? Well, guess what? It's on purpose. It's on purpose, and it's because Google, Facebook, Apple, Twitter, and Amazon all measure the success of their devices in engagement, not in productivity. So that is the revolution that has happened in the realm of computer science, and it is a detriment to all of mankind, because when your time is wasted, it cannot be refunded. So that's just a little added benefit for you there. And again, watch our videos. We will not encourage you to do stupid, idiotic things. Yes, the Smash Meet 22 to 2023. That's exactly right. Pago 2022 to 2023. So thanks for all the comments to our viewers. Yes, Kimberly, you do need a passport, but you don't need to travel far. So somebody like me has to travel like, I don't know, 18 hours probably to get to a place like that. Once again, cheers to our viewers. Look for us to be producing increasingly more content. And we're going to close things out with some additional music here. I'm just going to cue up some quality video content and one of our favorite Golden Cat Productions tracks. This is called Hemi's Here. And I believe you can find this on the YouTube playlist for original music. Hopefully it won't be too loud. There we go. And we're going to show some close-ups of Pennsylvania.